Okay, physics students. Today we talked a lot about how you describe the motion of something moving in a one-dimensional sense using a graph. So here's a graph or an equation that describes some sort of graph that you should have learned in math. Looks like it's a parabola. I'm not sure if it's concave up or concave down. Actually, I should. Okay. So the graph is a parabola of some kind, and you can graph that on your calculator. So from your TI calculator, you get some sort of graph. Let's just say it looks like that. Now, I don't know if it looks like that. You'll have a graph on your screen. So what I want to know is, well, we learned that the slope of this graph at a point gives me the speedometer reading, or the velocity. This is a positive velocity here that's not as fast as that velocity there. So this thing from this point forward is speeding up because the slope is getting steeper. So on your TI calculator, if you graph this, there's a math section that says, I think it says dy dx, okay, under one of the menus on your TI calculator. That gives you the slope, and you can plug in a time. So I want you to plug in x, in this case, equals 0, x equals 1, x equals 3, and x equals 7. Okay, that will give me the slope, which is the speedometer reading at 0. If this is the graph, that'd be back here somewhere. The slope at 1, the slope at 3, the slope at 7. Okay, each one of those, when I take the slope, it's like I've got the velocity at these times, because in reality those are times. Okay? So I would have 4 numbers that are the velocity of this object at those times, because what your calculator is doing is, when it finds the dy dx, which is just the slope, fancy slope notation, is telling me the slope of the line right there, and the slope of the line right there, and the slope of the line. So if I was right here, the slope would be negative, and I would have a negative velocity. What I then want you to do is just take these 4 numbers. You don't have to use all the fancy graphing rules, but make a velocity time graph with 4 points, 0, 1, 3, and 7. Take your answers and plot them, and just write a quickie equation of the velocity versus time if you know the position versus time. I hope that makes sense. If you know how to do it a fancier way using some other course, that's fine also. But the slope of the tangent line at these 4 points, that's what I need.